Stop loss, stop loss, stop loss. Everywhere it is told that stop loss is your best friend, yet no one tells you where to exactly put it, and you are fed up because your stop loss gets taken so often. The problem is simple, you are keeping your stop too tight. Hello and welcome to the fifth episode of the Investing Framework series by Wealth Lab. And in this video, I am going to tell you 3 ways on how you can place an efficient stop loss in different market environments so that your stop is not easily taken and it gives your trade a breathing room. So without further ado, let's get started. The problem is that whatever you have read and heard till now asks you to put a tight stop because they feel that the tight stop is what gives you a better risk to reward. That keep your stock tight, that is how you will lead a 10 risk to reward, 15 risk to reward. Now that is not entirely the case. That is true when the markets are in a bull phase. That is when we have a lot of breakouts and the markets are trending upwards every day. That is when keeping a tight stop keeps you out of poor stocks. But when the market is highly volatile, your stops will get triggered by noise and not by reversal. You will see that you buy the stock here and then it gets topped out and then its stock runs up without you, and that is why you feel frustrated and you feel angry as to what am I doing wrong. And in this video we are going to answer specifically that stops are not the same across all market environments. We have to be cautious about the environment that we are trading in. Regime is important. Whatever they say about regime, it is important. So I'll take you through a story about why prudent stops fail in high volatility environments. And this is my own personal story about how I used to keep stops tight in 2023, 2024, somewhat in 2025. But in 2025 mid and 2026, tight stops are not going to work for you. The reason is simple, that the India VIX or the volatility index in India is at 18 or 19 now. That is, we are expecting a 18 to 19% total move in the Indian markets. That would mean that a stock can also move by 20, 25, 30% over the next 1 year in the Indian markets. Now what used to happen was, I will take you through an example. Let's go to wealthlab.in. I used to own this stock called Laurus Labs. This was a story of last year, I think around March, April. Let's just see. May 19th, when the stock broke out of its 600 range, and I took an entry over here around 612 and kept a very tight stop loss on 50-day moving average around 600. That is only 2% of the move. Now only the next day the stop loss was taken out, only to see that the stock rallied without me. The stop was too tight. I'll take you through another example where I traded this stock called Force Motors. Okay, so I'll just take you through the chart, and this was later in the year, and I was trading this stock around, I think, this phase. Okay, I took the entry over here on 26th November when the stock broke out of 17,300, and I kept a very tight stop at 16,500. What happened was that the stock went up a bit, then it came down, took my stop, and then rallied by 4,000 points in the next 2 months. And I was kept out of it. I did not participate in this just because my stop was too tight and I did not know that the market environments have changed. So what do you do when the VIX is 18 or 19 and it's in a high volatility market environment? I will take you through 3 ways in which you can place your stop in a high volatility market environment. Number 1 would be a structure based stop. In a structure based stop, we have to anchor the stop to a level that the market respects. It can be a 200-day moving average, it can be a 100-day moving average, 50-day moving average. Whatever the market respects, we have to keep our stop 1% below it. It is best for swing traders and positional traders. This is the level that the market keeps testing. So let me take you through my Force Motor trade. Again, we saw that the stop was taken over here around the 150-day moving average. But over the long time, we also see that the stock never closed below the 150-day moving average, and the market structure as it says, the market respects the 150-day moving average in this case. So what was more prudent? Was it more prudent to keep my stop over here around 16,400 or to keep my stop at the 150-day moving average? Of course, it would make more sense to keep my stop at a structure that the market respects, not a line that I have drawn for myself. These red and green bars are the points where the stock has entered stage 2 and has exited stage 2. If this was my entry signal and this is where I entered, having kept a stop loss at 150-day moving average, I would have easily been able to ride up until 25,000. That is a great move for me to ride, that's about 30 to 40% of up move that I would have been able to capture in force motors. Now I would like to reiterate that tighter stops work when the market volatility or the India VIX is below 15, below 14, and it is still constrained because there is not as much noise in the market. The stock keeps moving in a stair-step fashion. But when the volatility spikes above 15, 16, goes to 17, 18, 19, 20, then the stair-step becomes wider and tighter stops get taken faster. That is why you will see everywhere on social media that a lot of stops of the people are being taken because they are still not accepting the changed market regime. You have to keep the stops at places that are still wide, give breathing room to your stock and respect the market structure. Now let's go to the second way to put stop loss, which is ATR. ATR is average true range, and ATR adapts to how much the stock is actually moving, and in a quiet stock the stop tightens and in a wild stock it loosens, so that you are always volatility aware. This will help specifically in areas when the volatility is on the rise, and for the next 3 to 4 years the volatility will be on the rise since we have exited a very long secular bull market. This is best for trending stocks and intraday and swing trading, and these stops breathe with the stock. So what is average true range? Average true range is the range in which the stock trades over the past n number of days. So supposedly the stock is at 100 rupees and over the past 14 days it has traded between 90 to 110. So these 20 points will be the average true range of the stock. This is a wild 10% move, and if you keep your stop anywhere within this 20% range, then you would risk the chance of being your stop taken too early, your stop being too tight. So you have to always make sure that the stop is placed outside the ATR. ATR is where the stock will consistently move, will have all the noise within it. There is a chance that your stop will be taken. What is the formula for putting the stop? You have to put the stop at entry minus ATR into N. Usually 2 to 3 times, at least more than 1 times. If the ATR is 10 points, then 10 into 1.5, which is 15 points at the very least. And if that coincides with a 200-day moving average, a 150-day moving average, or a 50-day moving average, then it is even better. Then it makes more possibility for your stop to not being taken. One is that we learned that we can put the stop at the moving average that the market respects. Second, what we learned is that we can put the stop at ATR basis. That is starting point or the entry point minus ATR into some 2 or 3 or 1.5 value. If the ATR stop and the market average coincides, that is the ATR stop and a moving average coincide, are similar, are close, then it increases the chances for the stop to be effective and for it to be not taken and for you to last into the trade for a longer period of time. Now the third type of stops that we can trade are percentage based stops, and mind you, these work, but these are not the most effective ways, but I'll tell you why these are important. Now percentage based stops are the fastest to calculate, but they are most dangerous if you don't calibrate it. A X% stop only works when it respects the stock's daily range. How we spoke about ATR, a 5% stop on a stock. Okay, suppose we decide that we'll always keep the stop at 5% away irrespective of where the moving average is, what the ATR is. But if the ATR is only 6%, then this stop is useless. If the ATR is less than 5%, then we can actually quickly make use of the fixed risk to reward. Now, percentage based stops are good when you are trading large cap stable companies where the most efficient stop. What is the most efficient stop? The ATR or the market structure, the 150, 50 or 200-day moving average. They are effective where the most efficient stop is very far away. Supposedly the 50-day moving average is 15% or 12% away and you want to trade a stock, then a fixed percentage based stop can help you take a quick entry in a low volatile stock and ride the uptrend. This can be useful in cases like NetWeb. I will take you through it. So now let's go through NetWeb and we will see what happened with this stock. Okay, so the stock had a run up over here and it was at 4,000 and the most recent stop it was at 3,300, which is about 15% away. Now we can't keep a 15% stop loss, so we can over here after this consolidation, if you want to take an entry over here, we can take a 5% stop just around over here, or maybe a 7% stop, fixed stop over here, and ride it. But the probability of it succeeding is very less. If you still see that the stock went down and now it is respecting the 50-day moving average, which it has respected in the past as well. In the past, it has respected the 150-day moving average, as you can see over here, and it will still continue to do so. So in this case, we can use the fixed position size based, percentage based stop, but it is not the most effective. Alright, so before you place a trade, any trade, run this check. You have to answer these 6 questions. If they fit in, then you have the perfect stop loss. Okay, where is the nearest structural support? It may be a 200-day moving average, a major swing low, or demand zone. For example, in NetWeb, where is the nearest structural support? The nearest structural support is at 3,000 rupees. Now over here, you cannot keep the stop at 3,000 rupees. You can only keep it at maybe 3,700, which is a position size based stop, or you can keep it at a moving average. Over here, moving average will be more prudent. Number 2, what is the current VIX or volatility environment? If the VIX is elevated, in the current scenario, the VIX is at 17, 18 or 19 right now. So if the VIX is elevated, then tight stops will not work. You have to keep further stops. You have to keep more prudent stops. Number 3, is my loss at least 1% below that support? Okay, this is very important. Supposedly, this is the support zone. Then you have to make sure that your stop loss is at least 1% below this support zone. If your stop loss is here, then it has to be at least 1% below support zone. Why is this? This is important because a lot of time the stock will fluctuate around the support and there will be noise as buyers and sellers try to fight over that price. In that noise, you don't want your stop to be taken out. So you have to be prudent and you have to take your stop at least 1% below the support so that there is enough room for the stock to fluctuate and then go back up again. Now let's go to the 4th question, which is, have I defined the stop type for this trade? So we have defined 3 types of stops. One is the ATR based, one is percentage based, and one is the most prudent market structure based, where we respect the moving averages. So have we defined it? If we have not defined, then we need to define it before taking the entry. And I've told you, in different market environments, you can take different types of stops. Now number 5, if the stop is hit, is the trade idea actually wrong? Okay, now this is important. Supposedly, let's go back to Laurus Labs. Okay, let's go back to Laurus Labs and we will define where we put our stop earlier. We put our stop over here in the earlier trade last year, and then we have to ask this question ki if the stop is hit, is the trade idea actually wrong? If my trade initially was actually wrong. Now if my stop is hit over here, then it is not right to say that my trade was wrong. I was not correct with my stop loss decision. I should have went back in time, went back in history and seen what levels does it actually respect. Does it respect the support levels? No, as you can see over here that the stock is not respecting the support levels. So what does it respect? The stock actually respects the 150-day moving average. The trade was not wrong. I was wrong in putting my stop, and my stop should have been the 150-day moving average. So that means that every next time it breaks out, then I can take another trade with the 150-day moving average as the stop, and that will enable me to ride the trend more effectively. If the stop is hit, is the trade idea actually wrong, or did I place the stop in the wrong place? And number 6, which is the most important when you are trading, is, am I comfortable losing this amount? In rupees, not in percentage. Are you comfortable with the size of the capital that you would be losing if the stop is hit? If you're not comfortable, then reduce your position size, reduce and bring it to an amount that you'll be comfortable losing, because in trading there is a 40-60 or a 50-50 win rate. You cannot win all the time. So in rupees, if you're not comfortable losing this amount, then you should not be trading, and you should actually picture in your head the actual P&L hit. Imagine, forecast, see that if the loss is hit, then how will you feel? If you will feel uncomfortable, if you will not feel comfortable enough to sleep at night, then this is not the right trade for you to be in. And over time, when your capital grows, then it is important to start thinking in percentage, because 50,000 pay 1% is 500 rupees and you can still be fine with it. But on a 5 crore capital, 1% is 50,000 rupees, and then although percentage wise it's still the same, in rupee terms you might be taken aback a bit, but in terms of a capital it still remains the same. So over a long time you have to learn to think in percentages. Now bottom line is that if you can't answer these 6 questions, you are not ready to enter. Take a screenshot of this slide, pin it to your desktop, pin it to your wallpaper, pin it to your trading desk, wherever. But you have to answer all of these 6 questions when you take a trade. Anchor the stop, buffer the noise, and trade without regret. This is the most efficient way to trade. In the next video, we'll talk about position sizing. And over the past 8 videos, we have talked about how to get ideas, eliminate ideas, ROE, EPS, bad ideas, good ideas, how to prioritize ideas. You can see all of those videos in the playlist below. And to keep supporting us, like and subscribe to Wealth Lab. And I hope you have a wealthy day. See you again next week.